Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this morning's celebration of love at the Global Truth Center, Toronto. I'm Reverend Helen Vello, and we come together on a Sunday to celebrate the love that we are, the oneness, the interconnectedness, to celebrate this infinite creative energy that is always expanding, always evolving in that pointed forward direction, even though it might not feel like it sometimes. And so, with that, to know that we have with us this morning Aiden Farrell as our guest musician, and Carrie Garnier is our wonderful practitioner today. So you can sit back and relax and look at the snow outside if you're in Toronto or up north in Ontario, and then also have a coffee or a glass of champagne or champagne and orange juice and relax and allow your mind to clear and take in whatever is yours to take in. Our theme for the month of December is Illumination, which is all about clearing our minds so that we can open up into something much greater than we ever have known before. So ask yourself the question, what is yours to know? What is yours to clear out? What is yours to illuminate in your own mind this morning? And with that, I am going to invite our wonderful musician, our metaphysical musician who just keeps writing amazing songs. And she's got a song for us this morning, not hers, by Roger Hammerstein. And that is Aiden Farrell. So come on in, Aiden.
Thank you. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. The corn is as high as an elephant's eye. And it looks like it's climbing clear up to the sky. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. All the cattle are standing like statues. All the cattle are standing like statues. The breeze is so busy as it sees me right by. And the little brown maverick is winking her eye. Oh, what a beautiful morning. rhythms of the earth are like music. The breeze is so busy, it don't miss a tree. And an old weeping willow is laughing at me. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. Yeah, it's going my way.
That was great, Aiden. Thank you so much. What a beautiful way to start the morning by
Yeah,
really affirming.
yeah.
It is a beautiful morning. Thank you so much. We'll see you in a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
And just, for a moment, take in what is beautiful about your day today. You know, we all can illuminate our minds to see the beauty, the wonder, the joy, the lightness of what's around us and what is within us. And so, to take a breath and say, yes, yes, it is a beautiful morning. It is a beautiful day. And in this moment, I recognize the universal consciousness of all life, which acknowledges all people, all faiths, all sentient beings are the one sameness and individual expression of this infinite creative energy that is of us as us. And we call it all kinds of things. We call it spirit. We call it light. We call it universal consciousness. We call it God. Know that there is that light within each of us that is behind the darkness of your closed eyes. And as we illuminate, we open our eyes and see ourselves, illuminate our minds to who we truly are. We can recognize that we are this one light, the one cosmic heart, and we can celebrate our oneness with all life. We can also celebrate the oneness that we share with everyone, everywhere. So take a breath. Breathe into your beautiful heart space and say, yes, I recognize the beauty of this morning, the beauty of this day. I recognize the voice that says to me, I am light, I am love, I am kindness, I am goodness, I am beauty, I am wisdom, I am justice, I am truth, I am wholeness. I recognize I am part of an infinite whole of life itself. And so breathe in again, breathe that in. I am part of an infinite whole of life itself. And from that place, we can also recognize there is no time, no space, and that we can honor all of life that has come before us, all of life and its gifts right here, right now, all of life yet to come. We also recognize and honor our ancestors, our teachers of ancient wisdom, and recognize as well that the constant renewal, the constant illumination of my own mind in each and every moment is the key to joyous living. And so it is. And with that, I'm going to bring back Aiden, and I'm going to bring in our practitioner of the day, Carrie Garnier, for our invocation.
Thank you. That was so beautiful. This is a song I wrote called Take It Slow. And just a reminder, this time of year can be hectic, but just if you can, to find those moments to take it slow. So maybe this can be one of those for all of us. Do you want to take it slow? Have nowhere to be or go. Tell me, do you want to stop this searching high and low? Do you want to take it slow? Do you want to take it easy? Do you want to make life breezy? Tell me, do you want to stop this searching high and low? Do you want to take it slow? I've tried to live life on the run, chasing more before I'm done. I gave it all, I tried my best. I just need a place to rest.
And as we breathe into this moment, perfect moment of rest, I allow myself to know that there is only love. There is only this moment. There is no other time, no other space, nothing to do but be present right here and now. And as we embrace this present moment, allowing ourselves to sink into it, we get to meet ourselves, meet in God as God, meet the loving energy that each and every one of us is right here and now, that we bring to this moment, to this collective experience and expression of love, with a heart that is open to resting in this moment, knowing what needs to be known, experiencing the perfection of who we are in every moment, allowing this celebration to wash over, through, as us, the perfect co-creation. And with a full and grateful heart, I release these words as law. They are done, and so it is.
Do you want to take it slow? Do you want to quit show? Would you rush to stay in worry, afraid of what you'll never know? Or do you want to take it slow?
What a beautiful song and beautiful treatment, Carrie. Thank you.
Thank you.
Carrie, so good to see you.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Oh, let me ask you, how is illumination of your own mind showing up in your life this month?
Well, I do have a wonderful quote that kind of sums up what I've been experiencing in the last, I'd say, few weeks. And it's by August Wilson. And the quote is, confront the dark places of yourself and work to banish them with illumination and forgiveness. Your willingness to wrestle with your demons will cause your angels to sing.
Oh, beautiful.
And I think it's so perfect, Aiden's song. This year, and I mean that in the school year, I have really slowed down. And it has allowed me to be more present to what's around me. I'm currently working with students who um, are having difficulty in school. So to be able to sort of hold witness of them and also have slowed down for myself and really just noticing what are the dark places that are coming up and ready to be healed, doing my morning healing work, and then coming in and being a lighter presence who can just reflect light to them, even as they're struggling with their darker places. And just, I have one school where I go to, and the teachers, like the philosophy is just be love, just be love, just be love. Just love them up one side and down the other as they come through the door. We don't know how much it took for them to get here today. Just be love.
Oh my gosh, what if every school was like that?
What if every school was like that?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
also, you teaching in a school like that is a reflection of your own consciousness and your mental equivalency because you are that and you attracted that into your life.
I know. And it's a perfect position for right now. It's just, yeah, it's perfect. It's heaven. It's brilliant. It's beautiful.
Wow. And those lucky children, blessed children to have you just loving them up one side and down the other.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Yeah.
just feels like, again, it's like a co creation, it's like an illumination. It's a moment in their lives where they can just stop and rest
Mhm.
just for
Yeah.
a moment. Maybe, what if everything were okay? Just in this moment, what if everything were okay?
What if? It's a great, great question. What if in this moment everything is just absolutely perfect? It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful. Can you say speak the quote one more time? It
Oh,
was so good.
yes. Yes. August Wilson. Confront the dark parts of yourself and work to banish them with illumination and forgiveness.
Mm, mhm,
And I've been doing a lot of that. Like I say, as we slow down, things come up to be healed, and it's just about forgiveness and shedding
mhm.
light on it. Your willingness to wrestle with your demons will cause your angels to sing.
Oh, I love it. What a
Yeah.
Yes. And, what a great message for all of us just to be able to really open it up, look at it with light and love and forgiveness and move on.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
move on.
And then move on.
Yes. And then move
Yep,
on.
yep.
Yes. Beautiful. And that leads right into our affirmation if you'd like to lead us in our affirmation.
Completely. Oh, it is a beautiful, beautiful artwork behind the affirmation. I'm going to say it one time and allow yourselves to really just take it in as I say it, and then we'll say it together. The loving intelligence of the universe guides my life. And now
Mm,
let's take that and say that together. The loving intelligence of the universe guides my
my
life.
light. Awesome.
Oh, and Rev Wita Joy has just said August Wilson was an accomplished Pulitzer Prize winning African American playwright. So there you go. That's who the quote
Beautiful.
came from. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Rev Wita.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out how to hide this now. I gotta go back to my graphics. There it is. Okay.
Yay!
So you can see our faces once again and
Perfect.
all dressed in red for the
Hmm.
season.
For the season.
Thank you so much, Carrie. It's such
Thank
a
you.
delight always to have you
Thank
with
you.
us.
Oh, I
Thank you
love
for
being
bringing
here.
your consciousness with us.
You're welcome.
And I'm going to bring Aiden back for our feature song, another original Aiden.
Yes. Yeah. So this one is called A Heart That Beats. Oh, excuse me. Hmm. To be alive can hurt sometimes. Don't we know it? To be human, oh, I've realized is to keep on going. And some days I'm so tired, and my strength is all but left. I see the sun still rises, and it still sets. And at the end of the day, my heart still beats. My lungs still breathe. My tongue still speaks. At the end of the day, my heart still beats. To open up can terrify, but we must move through it. By my fear, I won't identify. No, I just won't do it. And though I'm scared to show the world who I really am inside, I'm still dancing in the darkness, under every star in the sky. And at the end of the day, my heart still beats. My lungs still breathe. speaks. At the end of the day, my heart still beats. My lungs still breathe. My tongue still speaks. At the end of the day, my heart still beats. For what more could I pray than a heart that beats? At the end of the day, my heart still beats.
Beautiful, Aiden, and perfect for what I'm going to move into. And you know, I have to say it again. You're this beautiful metaphysical songwriter. You need to get an album out somehow
I'm working on it.
of
I'm
all these
working on it.
metaphysical. Okay, that's good
I
to
got some
know.
irons in the fire, so yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yay! Perfect. Yes, because also, and I don't know if I said this the last time you were here, but when you were playing piano for a friend of my friend's birthday party, and you just played and you played and you played. I think you must have played like for 3 or 3 hours,
Yeah.
and someone had asked you how you learned to play the piano, and you said, well, actually I was a vocalist first, but then I decided, and this is the key here, I decided to increase my piano skills. So I sat down at the piano and I just started to play and play and play and practice.
Yeah.
And you played so beautifully. I mean, people were amazed
Thank
at
you.
just how wonderful your piano playing is, as well as your songwriting skills and your vocals. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you a bit later.
Okay.
You know, it's so interesting when I talk about Aiden and her making that choice, that power of decision to become a piano player, to really increase her skill. And there's a line in her song that says, to be human means to keep on going, to keep on going. And I'm going to say, no matter what, and to open up when terrified. And so, you know, something that's not always easy to do. And yet here we are, you know, these creative beings. We're here to create, to evolve and grow, not only in our minds but in our skills and talents. And so my question to you this morning is, do you have a creativity scar? Do you have a creativity scar or wound, perhaps a specific incident when you were told that you aren't creative enough or talented enough or good enough? And then do you have this tendency in your own mind to minimize your worth, to label yourself, well, I'm not really creative? And yet we all are. We all are creative beings. And last night I was watching Tick Tick Boom on Netflix for the third time. And it's a musical based on the life of Jonathan Larson, who's the musical theater writer who wrote the Broadway rock musical Rent, which was a huge hit. And as I was watching the story unfold, and now I know the story quite well, it's how did he keep going when he had so many rejections? How did he keep going when he had this opportunity to put on a workshop of his first musical that took him 8 years to write, to only be told by his agent nobody wants to pick it up? It's too esoteric. Nobody wants to know about spaceships and aliens and robots. And he's like, but that's not what it's about. And she said, well, I know that, but nobody gets it. And it's too big for off Broadway. So nobody wants to pick it up. He said, well, what am I supposed to do now? She said, write the next one, and then write the next one, and then write the next one, and write the next one until something sticks. And so I thought about my own creative pursuits when I was in my 20s, because I didn't have enough conviction and belief in myself to keep going. And yet it's never about talent. It really is about belief and conviction and faith, to create something, to know that we are creative beings. I'm going to tell you about my story in my 20s in a minute. But Ernest Holmes said, the great law of life is thinking and becoming, not just thinking, becoming. And when we think from the lofty heights of spirit, we will become great. And not until then. So keep the truth within your own soul. Lift yourself above the confusion of life, because all of our thought is created in the realization that what we put out there, and so it is. So can you realize that we're already creative? That is innately who we are. But when I think back to my 20s, I can think of so many creative scars. I was taught to measure up to other people's successes and to be perfect, not authentic, perfect. And there's a big difference there. Everything was about it being perfect on the outside. And so when I didn't meet other people's expectations or measure up to other people's successes, I bailed because I thought I failed. And I felt shame that somehow I wasn't good enough and I didn't deserve to do what I wanted to do. And had I known what I know now, I wouldn't have made myself struggle and suffer the way that I did. So in my 20s, right from about the time I was 17, right through to almost the end of my 20s, I lived and breathed modern dance. My intention was to be the next Martha Graham. And if you don't know who she is, she's this incredible American modern dancer and choreographer who in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, she reshaped American dance. And I studied modern dance. I studied Graham technique. I studied Hawkins technique. And at 19 in Edmonton, Alberta, I was a really big fish in a small pond. I was like a little star in my dance classes and my and in the program that I was in. So I head off to New York City and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make this happen. And so I go to the Martha Graham School in New York City, and there I go to my first class, and I'm like so fresh faced. And I am so naive as this teenager. But I was feeling pretty sure of myself, this Alberta girl. And I was early for class because I get there early and you warm up and stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch. And besides, it's a great way to show off how flexible and stretched out you really are as other people are doing the same. And I'm up at the front, what I thought was the front row, right by the mirrors, because I always like to be in the front. And I was honestly ready to show off all my fantastic technique, only to discover that the class filled up with hundreds of dancers, all ready to do the same. And I ended up being a very small fish in an enormous sea of bodies, all wanting to be the next Martha Graham. And I was floored. I'm like, where did all these people come from? Okay, we're talking 1979 here. I hadn't been out of Alberta very much. And so I had no idea what went on in classes in New York City. And there was no connection with anybody. I was just on my own. And I collapsed. I kept going back, but I ended up collapsing because I didn't have the resiliency to know how to reach out to others, be authentic, build community and friendships, or even how to have mentors that would support my journey despite how many times I failed. And my style, my personality style, was to be like a lone wolf, ready to do battle and defend my weaknesses. So I was pretty closed off and unreachable because I was also really scared to be vulnerable. It wasn't okay to fail. It wasn't okay to just keep going no matter what. All of a sudden, I wasn't perfect. And that meant I wasn't enough. I wasn't good enough. And so I did keep going through my 20s and I did some interesting things. I went back to Edmonton because it was safe there. And, and I did some things here in Toronto, but I never felt like I belonged ever again. It literally, I allowed that experience to kind of knock the wind out of my sails. So I'm so grateful that I get to know that really the universe is is a supportive universe, and therefore everyone and everything is bountiful in its support. And it was supporting me. I didn't know it at the time. Some very valuable lessons that I needed to learn. It was me who was miserly in what I would accept. And I wouldn't accept what the universe was offering because I wasn't perfect and I was in fear. And so by the time I left dance, there was no joy in me whatsoever, only self induced pain and suffering. And it took me a long time before I could even go back and watch dance because it was just this this painful scar of creativity that just never healed. It's good now. I'm good now. But, you know, not all creative scars are so dramatic. But if you have them and you don't see yourself as a creative being, you may want to consider rewriting your story because creativity and innovation, it happens through us as us when we can accept all the times that we stumble and we fall down and we fail, but we can still have that consciousness of passion and conviction and faith no matter what, and a consciousness of curiosity and action. How else can I do this? What's a different way to go around it? What do I need to learn here? And so Ernest Holmes says the best way to arrive at the highest consciousness is to have a great faith in the willingness and the ability of life to do all for us by working through us as us. And I'm going to say that again. The best way to arrive at the highest consciousness is to have a great faith in the willingness and the ability of life to do all for us by working through us as us. Are you willing to believe in the inherent goodness and all powerfulness of the Spirit of truth? Are you willing to believe that that is who you are? That you are that inherent goodness and powerfulness of spirit, of truth. And the truth is love, light, power, peace, joy, wisdom, beauty, oneness. Because every path, every endeavor can lead us back to this one point within us, that one touch point where we can realize the inner presence, the great reality of who we are, where we can touch back in and remember who we are. I wish I could have had that touch point in my 20s to remember who I am, to know who I am. I did not know who I was. I did not know even how to be authentic. I knew how to be perfect for everyone else, for everything. That's where my energy and my mind went to. Not authenticity, but it's authenticity that leads us into creating what we're meant to create. And for a long time, I wouldn't talk about the things I what didn't do well at, or my fears, or the things I messed up. I messed up a huge Canada Council grant that I ended up feeling very ashamed of once I got through all my defendedness and my my patterned personality. It's like there were people rooting for me and I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it because I wasn't willing to be real. I wasn't willing to say, I'm really scared about doing this. I want to do it, but I'm scared. Can I have some support, please? Because I wasn't supposed to ever have support. I was supposed to be strong and independent and not need anyone or anything. And what a trip up, to realize that there's a greater reality for all of us available to us when we are willing to clear out our minds, to illuminate the truth, that the door of our own thought, we can open it up and enter into a universal consciousness and into a complete realization that life is happening for us. Life is rooting for us. It's not against us. People are not against us. They're for themselves. But life itself, spirit, that infinite presence, my God self is for me, just as your God self is for you, and the infinite possibilities of creation. And guess what? We have an opportunity as the world continues to turn, and not the soap opera as the world turns, our own world, which does not have to be a soap opera, but the world is turning again on a dime, saying, well, guess what? You have more time, you have more space to tap into the silence in your own soul and ask the question, what's next for me to create? What's next for me to create? And the most important thing is to stay in the question, right? Allow the idea to rise up through you from an authentic place, from a real place within. Ernest Holmes says, I have lots of Ernest Holmes quotes today. I don't know. I was just on an Ernest Holmes roll this week. Ernest Holmes says, in that completeness and stillness, we are lost and yet we are found. This is what is meant, that a man must lose his life in order to find it. I had to lose my life of dance in order to find other things. And that's okay. I'm sure for many of you, you had to lose different things in your life in order to find something deeper and greater within yourself. And it really means losing the human experience and the human projections and find yourself in the divine, to realize that, We're one. We're one with everyone and everything. We are absolute cause, absolute first cause. First cause. We're part of that initial first absolute causation of all of life. And I think that goes way beyond the Big Bang. Like it goes back, I don't know. Consciousness is infinite. So to tap in and recognize that there is that part of us that is that infinite knowing, where there are no limitations to our creativity. Think about it. What if we were the ones to fill the well within our mind with the knowing of who we are? To recognize the worth of our souls is so much greater than what we've been told by other people or what we've previously perceived. And so we can truly embody equality and love for ourselves and for others, and have this as a founding basis for everything you create in your life. So, that also means staying out of the emotional fog. I think back in my 20s, I was in an emotional fog. I didn't know what I was feeling. It was just like a big blob of stuff that overtook me, and it was like a shroud that that was that was not allowing me to recognize really who I am. So don't allow the emotional fog to overtake you, because you haven't yet dared to recognize all that creative energy that's waiting to be unleashed. And creativity shows up in so many ways. It's in everything we do. It's the energy that we bring to our life. And there are broad strokes of creativity around us everywhere if we're willing to open our eyes and see it, open our ears and hear it. I think that's, Linda was telling me that the Knit One Pearl 2 group is knitting red headbands for a women's shelter for Valentine's Day and putting in notes of love. What a beautiful creative expression, not only for themselves that they get to create this, but they also get to pass it on to somebody else. And so, to allow yourself to generate new ideas of what do you want to create? What do you want to create in your life? Because we get to be creatively entitled. Think about that. We get to be creatively entitled. So in Big Magic, Elizabeth Gilbert quotes, "The poet David White calls this sense of creative entitlement the arrogance of belonging, and claims that it is an absolutely vital privilege to cultivate if you wish to interact more vividly with life." So that creative entitlement, it is an arrogance of, I belong. I belong here in this life. I belong to the infinite creative energy of the universe, that I have the privilege and the entitlement to utilize and put forth whatever it is I desire to create. And we could all use a little more arrogance of belonging instead of shrinking away from life, especially during these times as the world is turning on an unexpected dime. So ask yourself, do you believe in your ability to create change in the world around you? It is the conviction that you can achieve what you set out to do that makes it so. And so, have a little more arrogance of belonging and creative entitlement in your life. Because when you transcend the fears, and we all have them, then you can unleash your creativity in many new ways that you wouldn't have previously thought about. And so I'm going to finish off with a quote by Steve Jobs because, oh my God, isn't he the master of creativity? The minute you understand that you can poke life and actually something will pop out the other side, that you can change it, you can mold it, that's maybe the most important thing. Once you learn that, you will never be the same again. So, what do you want to poke at? And what will pop out? You get to mold it, you get to change it, and you get to create it. So, allow yourself to tap into that. And I think what Jonathan Larson did in his short-lived life, because he died of an aneurysm just before Rent opened on off Broadway first, before it went to Broadway, is he kept poking at life to see what would come out the other side, and he kept writing musicals. That first one took him 8 years, and then he wrote the next one, which was Tick Tick Boom. And then the next one after that was Rent. So what if you made your life a creative experiment? Some work, some don't. But you can give yourself permission to create whatever it is you desire. You don't need anyone else's permission but your own. So have a little bit of arrogance there, arrogance of belonging, and give yourself permission to lift up the standard of your life from one of survival to one that is infinitely more creative and expansive. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So, with that, I am going to go into our giving affirmation. I'm just going to pull up the graphic here. And we can say all this together. I live in a universe of, okay, I gotta add to it. We live in a universe of infinite creative abundance. As I freely and joyfully give to my spiritual center, I recognize I am at the flow of this infinite creative abundance I share with all life. As I give, I receive, and so it is. And so I invite you to um, send in your donations to Global Truth Center Toronto.com. Go back to the captions here just to let you know. That's the website where you can send in your donation. And this month's tithe goes to the Greater Contribution. It is an organization started by a woman in Global Truth Center Los Angeles, and she goes back and forth to Uganda many, many times a year. And her organization, which is a not-for-profit, it was also given the check mark of a highly esteemed not-for-profit organization, and she helps Ugandan women create sustainable incomes. She helps them become educated and also starting their own business. So a great organization to give to this month. And you can still join in for class at 7 p.m. on Wednesdays if you want to hop in. And just let me know. We're having a great time in that class. Boy, people are unleashing their creative expression, that's for sure, and really understanding the power of their mind and the power to create what they truly desire. And then also, Carrie is available for affirmative prayer after the celebration today. You can call her at 647 225 4076. And then finally, Spirit Breath. You can join us for Spirit Breath at 8 a.m. and noon. You can go to the welcomeom.space website. There's a link on our Global Truth website, and that's by Love Offering. or just join in. If you're off for the holidays and you're not going to work, then join in for some meditation at 8 a.m. and noon. The noon meditation is run by Dr. James Mellon, and I run the 8 a.m. Meditation. And then thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for your consciousness. Thank you for your comments. And on the side there, it's great. Thank you, Nick and Rev Wita Joie, Hester and Lena, Margaret Ann. Thank you for joining in. And I'm going to bring Aiden in for our final song. I'm also going to say, join us next Sunday. We have Aiden Farrell, Nathan Aswell, and Pierre Gautreau joining us for today's service, along with some of our practitioners. So um, thank you. And you can see us all next Sunday, the day after Christmas. You can still be in your Christmas pajamas as you join in with us. And so, Aiden, you have a Christmas carol to take us out with.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I think this might be my favorite. So please sing along. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Once again, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us will be near to us once more. Through the years, we all will be together if the fates allow. Until then, we'll have to muddle through somehow. So have yourself a merry little Christmas now.
Beautiful, Aiden, and have a wonderful Christmas, everyone, or holiday, whatever you're celebrating. It's all about love. And thank you. We'll see
Thank
you next
you.
week. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.